If somebody else were to run your business, what's the first thing that they would change? Hey there, it's Brian Dixon from Hope Books. I was just watching Dan Martell. He's been an online mentor of mine for a long time, and he said this quote, and it really affected me. I just started thinking, wait a second. There's just imagine, okay? I want you to imagine that you are running your social media, you're running your podcast, you're working on your book, you're planning on launching your book. You're trying to build relationships in your industry, right? Maybe you have an online course or maybe you have a membership. And then let's say something happened, okay? Let's say you had a heart attack and died. Or let's say that you got hit by a car and you are out, like you're in the hospital for 6 months. You can't do anything. And so your spouse finds somebody who's like an amazing operator. Like for me, I think if something happened to me, we've got an incredible team. But my wife would have to step into the business. And what she would probably do is she would find one of my friends. I've given her actually, like, she knows a couple of names of people that I would recommend. And one of those people would probably step up for 6 months or so and be like the CEO of the company for a season while they get the ship, back on track. All right. What would that person do? And like as I thought about it, immediately it was like, oh my goodness, they would like run a lot more ads than we're running right now. Like, oh wow, they would run a lot more ads. Well, what else would they do? Oh, they would, and then just start listing the things that, like, someone you admire. If someone you admire were to step into your business, okay, if somebody you admire were to step in your business and take it over for a season, what would they fix right away? And what Dan was saying in this video is that we all have this story. We all have a story about why things are the way they are. Oh, I can't run ads because I tried them in 2020 and they were really expensive. Or, oh, I can't reach out to that person because we had this awkward conversation in an elevator at a conference 6 years ago, and therefore they're going to remember and I can't reach out to that person. Right. Or that person says something about somebody and like, whatever the story is, but that person taking over, like I think about my friend Jared. I'm heading down to New Orleans soon for our 10K mastermind. We run a 10K mastermind. It's a private group. DM me if you want more details. But we've got this 10K mastermind helping our members launch their book and sell 10,000 copies. And we go on 2 annual trips. So we're going down to New Orleans coming up real soon. And my friend Jared lives down in New Orleans. And I think, if Jared were to take over the business for a season, what would he do differently? And I'm like, I just started immediately thinking, this is exactly what he would do. Like, he'd probably reach out to our top clients and ask them what they love about us and what they'd want to change. Okay, that sounds like something that he would do. So he'd have like some conversations. He'd probably do more in-person stuff because he's like an in-person guy. So what are some things he would do? You just start kind of listing it out. Okay, now let's take this to the next level beyond what Dan said, although this is probably where he would go. Guess what? You're not dead. You're not dead. And you're not in the hospital for 6 months. And you know the person that your spouse would probably get to run your company or to run your social media. And so guess what? You can actually talk to them. You can actually have a conversation with them and say, if you were me, what would you do? If something happened to Brian and Julie took over and she passed it off to Jared to run the company for 6 months, Jared, what would you do? And he'd say, well, tell me more about your business and where you feel stuck. And they'd say this, I would do this, this, and this. So it's like, you already know what you would do, but also you can ask other people what they would do. I was reading in Proverbs 27 today, and Proverbs 27 says, as iron sharpens iron, so does a man sharpen a man, right? So does a friend sharpen a friend. So does another business owner sharpen another business owner. At Hope Books, what we teach is that it's about accountability. It's about community. So as our authors sharpen each other. It's why we have a weekly group coaching call. The reason we have a weekly group coaching call and we start by sharing the gains from the week is because I know that those gains are going to sharpen each other. That when you hear, oh, this person just turned in their manuscript, this person just decided on their book cover. Let me try to think of a couple of other ones from yesterday. This person said, I'm going to hand in my manuscript on Friday and I'm so close. And you hear that and you're like, whoa, that sharpens me. Because I was thinking I'm gonna finish my manuscript in 6 months from now, but so-and-so is finishing it today. And we started at the same time. Maybe that means I need to level up. Maybe that means I need to sharpen up. If they can do it, so can I. So think about that, right? Okay, now somebody else that comes to mind, I was thinking about Jess Connolly. Jess is a friend, and she's spoken at the Hope Story Conference. She was our keynote speaker this past year. And she just did the most incredible webinar ad I think I've ever seen. And actually, it doesn't look like they're running it as an ad. And that's what I would advise her team to do, because it's just a great Instagram reel. But she's standing by an SUV and she said something like, people often ask me, Megan, how do I fix a tire on a car? And she said something like, and that's a strange question, because first of all, my name's not Megan, and second of all, I don't know how to change a tire on a car. But what I do know is how to help women write their books, and I'm hosting a webinar to help you write your book. So if you want the link, just comment the word whatever below, and I'll send you the link for the webinar. And it was so cute and so funny, because I thought it gets your attention because you're looking at her account and you're like, her name's Jess, but she's saying Megan. I'm like, oh, wait, what happened? Did she change her name? Do I have her name wrong? Did she make a mistake? So it's curiosity. And then it's humor. So it's curiosity and humor. And then there's a call to action to sign for the webinar. I was like, that's awesome. That's so funny. So I commented I'm stealing this. This is amazing. Good job. And then I was thinking this morning, as I heard that Dan Martell quote about, if somebody else were to run your business, what would they do differently? And why don't you do it yourself? And I was like, oh my goodness. What if Jess were to run my Instagram, or to be in charge of my Instagram for a season? What would she do differently? And it's pretty obvious. She would do exactly what she's doing right now. This is why I recommend that you have a tribe of mentors, that you have 3 people that you follow that are regularly posting on social media, regularly have a podcast, regularly speaking on stages, regularly writing and publishing. And you probably already know who those people are. And imagine if they were in charge of your Instagram, what would they do? Well, you don't have to imagine it. All you have to do is look at their Instagram and see what they've been doing and say, okay, if they were to run mine, they'd probably run mine the same way that they're running theirs, right? They'd probably run mine the same way that they're running theirs. So why don't I run mine a way that they run theirs? So if I look at Jess Connolly's Instagram, or Ann Voskamp's Instagram, or Lisa Turker's Instagram, and I go, oh my goodness, they have this really cool video about their most recent book with they have the book on a desk, and then it's playing a little bit of music, and then somebody flips open the book, and then it zooms in to one of the inspirational quotes from the book. It's if they would do it on theirs, why won't Brian do it on his? And the reason is because I'm lazy. Because of laziness. There's a lot of fun, extra things that I could think or do or get distracted by instead of doing that work. And so that is my challenge for you today, my friends. As I'm almost home, my challenge to you is to name the person that you would be like, if something happened to me and somebody had to finish my book, what would they do? If something happened to me and somebody had to run my Instagram for 6 months, what would they do? If something happened to me and somebody had to run my business for 6 months, what would they do? And then do the work. Do it. Because you already know what they would do. I've gotten a lot of coaching from Russell Brunson, and so I followed a lot of his stuff. And I know what he would do. Like if I had 10 minutes on a Zoom call with him and he's like, okay, Brian, tell me, how do you get leads in your business? How do you convert those leads to sales? And then how do you show up for those people and deliver what they bought? And as I walk him through that process, I would go, oh, wait, oh, I'd start making excuses. I would start wanting to inject some disclaimers, disclaiming, unclaiming, not claiming the way that I have already done it. But the reality is I have chosen the way that I'm living, and I've chosen the way that I'm running my business. And I would have to give an account. That's what accountability is for, giving an account of your abilities and how you've used your gifts and talents as a steward, not to yourself, but to the Lord. And so I hope that encourages you. So here's my call to action. Act as if Brian Dixon's going to go look at your stuff and he's going to run it. And what would I say? Or if you don't admire me, find somebody else. What would Jess Conley do? What would Russell Brunson do? What would Amy Porterfield do? What would Ann Voskamp do if she were in charge of your Instagram for a week? And then do that. Do that. Don't be like it says in James, somebody hears some truth and then does nothing. It's like looking in a mirror and forgetting what they look like. Now take action. Take action right now. If you're not subscribing, you're not following, do that right now. Leave a comment if this helped you.